Hi there, welcome back. Ram Anand here. And today we have Ravi Kumar with us, a senior executive in one of the leading IT services companies in the world. And let's start with the first question. In the current situation, like working from home, how do you remain productive? Ravi Kumar sir.
All right, Ram. Again, thank you for having me on the show here. It's an honor to be on the show. You know, in the current scenario of everybody trying to work from home, I think one of the leading questions that always comes up, across the board from every corner of the world, right? Be it your client, be it your colleagues, everybody is how do you remain productive? As you rightly said, this is an area of a lot of interest to me and very close to my heart. The way we look at it is, first of all, you have to measure your productivity. What gets measured gets managed. If you don't measure it, there is no way for you to manage it, right? So one of the ways to do it is there are multiple tools that are available in the market, right? When you are working from home, figure out where your time is going. Use these tools to see how much time are you really spending, doing a productive work versus how much time you're really doing non-productive work, so to speak, right? There are some tools, very interesting tools, where you can go and, install on your mobile phone. It will tell you how many times you picked up the mobile phone. You'll be surprised. When you first install and, look at the results, you'll be surprised. You would think that you're not using the mobile phone often, but, results are going to astound you. It happened to me. It has happened to hundreds of thousands of people all over the world, right? People think that they're doing productive work. People think that they're not really wasting their time. They are. Okay, whether you like it or not, but first understand where your time is going. Then the next step is how do you manage it? The best way to manage it is again, time box your day, right? To think that you're going to be productive for 8 to 10 hours every day, in my opinion, is a fallacy. It doesn't work like that. Okay, the best way to do is to see if you can get focus time for probably a couple of hours in the morning. Even that also is split into probably 1 hour each in the morning session, and similarly 1 hour each for 2 times in the afternoon session. Time box it and mark it as a focused time where you switch off your mobile phones and emails and no phone calls and no talking to anybody. Just focus on the work. You're going to be a lot more productive, if you were to have anywhere between 3.5 to 4.5 hours of focused effort every day, rather than thinking that you got to be productive all the 8 to 10 hours, right? That would be my way of managing it. Have focused hours. I call it as power hour, or you can call it as silent hours, right? Where you do for a limited time, do the focused activity. That's going to be the best way to do it. Thank you.
Perfect, sir. Time boxing is the key, and power hour. Very nice. In this massive disruptive world today that we see, what should be your approach for serving your customers properly?
Again, Ram, as you said, this is an extremely disruptive time that all of us are going through. I don't think any of us who are living today have ever experienced this kind of a scenario, right? In fact, on the other day, I was just looking at all the different industries and what kind of impact it has had. Every industry, without an exception, has had a disruption, massive disruption, including the healthcare and pharma. People think that they are not disrupted. Everybody is disrupted, right? This is the time, especially for those in the services industry. I think this is the time to purely focus on the client, right? Think about how do I serve my clients? How do I serve my customer? That is the best way to really manage this, right? Thinking of profit always has to be later. Don't think of profit. How do you make money? You both think about how can I be of service to my customers, right? How do I help my customer tide over this particular crisis? Then you will become a trusted partner to your customer, right? Like a friend in need is a friend indeed. This is the time to be a friend to your customer. Focus on customer, serve the customer. That's the best way to look at it. Don't think of making money at this point in time. That can always come later. Thank you.
Fantastic, sir. And let's come to the home now, from the office, from the business scenario. At home, now everyone is being at home. We're all working together. We are all living together. We are spending a lot of time at home than ever before. So this also brings up some challenges and some fun as well as challenges. So how do you manage your time at home?
So, Ram, this is again, as I said, this is very unprecedented, right? Now everybody's at home, right? You're at home, your spouse is at home, your kids are at home, and in some cases your parents are at home, right? Now it can get chaotic if you don't manage it well. The most important thing is to figure out how do you create a personal space for yourself and for everyone around you at home. This is very, very important, creating that space. If you don't create that space and you mix it up, right, that's where it leads to a lot of conflicts. We are already seeing some of those cases, some of the domestic violence cases that are coming up, but these are completely avoidable. You have to give everybody a space for themselves, including your kids. Okay, don't forget them. So my suggestion would be, again, look at your day and make sure that you, at least your mindset should be as if you're going to the office every day. When I get up in the morning, and when I get ready, I get ready as if I'm going to the office. I'm going to workplace on that particular day. Get ready completely, and just create that space for yourself. However small or big your house is, but you still have to create that space for yourself, and try and be professional as possible, and give space for your rest of the family as well. It's very, very important.
Fantastic, sir. Thank you so much for that perspective. So I would like to ask you to share a couple of tips that are favorite for you, that are going to make a lot of sense at this time. If I ask you to share one or two tips, what would they be?
Yeah. So one of the first tips, again, based on what I've experienced and what I've seen happening around me and the world, is this whole social media and news, right? We need to be extremely careful to guard our minds from this negative news. Okay, especially if you look at the news. Let me just give you a little bit of background of what's happening and why it is happening. Right? You think about it. In our brain, just behind our ears, there is something called as amygdala. It's a very small part of our brain. This is what has really kept us safe for hundreds of thousands of years. Right? It always scans whether you're asleep or you're awake. It always scans the the environment to see to look for danger. Okay, this is the the component of your brain that is responsible for fight or flight response. For example, if you see a lion, right, what should be your response? Right, it is all decided by this. Right now, this is watching. Now, the current day media is really misusing that, if I were to use that word, right? If they feed you negative news. We are like a sponge. We absorb that negative news like no tomorrow exists, right? But it doesn't happen if it's a positive news, right? People don't pay too much attention to positive news, but negative news people do pay attention. A lot of fake news, this social media, constant bombarding and stuff like that. The amount of time people waste is mind-boggling. My one particular tip that I would say is that stop watching news from today. It is not helping you. It's not helping. If you think that no, news is very important, no problem. Just take a look at last 1 week and see if it really helped you. If it did help you in one single, in one single aspect, if it helped you, I would say, yeah, please be my guest and go and watch your TV. But I don't think so. News is not helping. Don't watch news. It's a waste of time. If you want to get data, fair enough. Watch it once in the morning. But don't keep on watching it. Not worth it. It is a total waste of time. That's tip number one for myself. Second thing is spontaneity. I call it, right? Being spontaneous. All of us, this has got nothing to do with the current day pandemic or the crisis. But you think about it, right? We have become so predictable, right? You get up in the morning, you have a schedule that you go through and stuff like that, and come back and sleep, right? But what we are forgetting to do is forgetting to live our lives. Okay, this is the opportunity I would recommend is to respect your instinct. Think about what your instinct is telling you, right? Be instinctive, be spontaneous. If you get an idea, say for example, if you get an idea that you would like to just go for a jog or a walk or go for play some sport or go anywhere or do something outside of your normal, do that. Right now, you won't get an idea if you are not capable of doing it. My recommendation is do that. Sharpen your instinct. This is your time to sharpen your instinct. I think my personal favorite of all times is try to be spontaneous. It doesn't mean that always be impulsive and just do whatever comes to your mind, but you should give that space, give that respect to your mind, to really respond in a positive way to some of the the ideas that you may get, and be spontaneous. These are the two ideas that I think people could use.
Thank you so much for sharing these amazing tips. I'm sure our viewers will definitely enjoy and make this useful in their lives as well. And before we conclude this, I want to ask you one last favor. Is there a resource, your number one resource that you want to share with our viewers today?
All right. So number one resource, it keeps changing from time to time for me, because all of us are evolving. We are learning. I believe in constant learning. The latest resource that I have really taken my heart to is there's this book called Deep Work by Cal Newport. It's an amazing book, especially in these days of everybody looking for hey, how do I become productive? What can I do to be more effective in what I do? This Deep Work is a wonderful book for people to read and implement some of the very simple techniques that he recommends in that book. One of the things that he talks about, I think I should mention that, is there is this professor, Sophie Leroy. She did an amazing work on this whole productivity, attention, and stuff like that, right? She came with this whole concept of attention residue. What it says is that, say you're doing some work, and suddenly you realize that you not checked your email in the last 1 hour. You go back and go out and check your email and come back to the work that you're doing. You know what? The interesting thing is that you don't come back fully. A part of you comes back, a part of you remains with the email, because your mind is still wondering about a particular email that you saw, how to respond, what to do, and stuff like that. Basically, this attention residue is the biggest robber of your productivity. Okay, if you're doing the work, just do the work, focused work, and then if you want to go and do the email, just do that completely separately. Don't mix up, right? Don't think that just go and come back. It doesn't work like that. So this is just one tip that I really loved in Cal Newport's book, Deep Work. I would say this is one of the best books you should read. That's all.
Thank you very much, sir. It was nice having you on this show.